Welcome to our overview of GerOnTe's implementation. My name is Bridget and I'm one of the Work Package 5 team members. Work Package 5 is the GerOnTe working group responsible for developing GerOnTe's EU-wide implementation roadmap. The GerOnTe project is a Horizon 2020 funded project that aims to co-design, test and prepare for post-trial EU-wide adoption and adaptation the GerOnTe intervention. The project is in its fifth of its sixth year, and the intervention has been implemented in 10 different clinical sites, which include public and private hospitals, and also cancer specialists, regional centres, and university-based hospitals. The feedback on the intervention so far is that it has been beneficial in improving patient outcomes and experiences, and it has been of assistance to clinicians in terms of improving their work processes, streamlining them, making and providing them with the information and supports that they need in order to provide integrated care. Now, in addition to developing the intervention, the GerOnTe project has also taken a unique approach to its research methods. The project has tested a complex intervention, the integrated care pathway, as part of a randomized controlled trial. This is of significant benefit because it enables the intervention to be tried and tested in different clinical contexts, which gives us a better idea of exactly how it works and for who it works and how we can translate this research into other settings. In addition to taking the randomized control approach to testing it, GerOnTe has also taken a unique approach to developing and reporting its methods, including specific methods to co-design or adapt the intervention, and in terms of how to implement it, on a continuing basis and how to scale it up locally. And Dublin City University is the lead on Work Package 5, and we've been involved in developing the implementation methods and the business plan. And in order to do that, we've worked very closely with the GerOnTe partners and research methodologists, with the clinical sites, and with the clinical research manager, Celia Ferrari, in order to identify specific methods that processes that enable the implementation of the intervention, and in order to identify the challenges and facilitators to implementing this complex intervention across different sites. Dublin City University has used existing implementation science research and methods and combined those in a unique way in the GerOnTe project in order to provide us with replicable practical methods to support the post-trial adaptation and adoption of the GerOnTe intervention. Now, specifically what GerOnTe has done differently here is that instead of asking the question if the intervention works, we've used a realist research approach to implementation and asked the question for who, in what ways, in what context, and how does the intervention work. So we've used this realist approach, so asking these different types of questions in order to get answers that help us to support post-trial implementation. Now, this is a very practical and fairly new approach to doing implementation science research for complex interventions. But what it does is it addresses a long-standing issue that exists with translating difficulties in translating research into practice. So by asking the questions in what context, for who, and in what ways and how, we identify specifically the intervention's mechanism of action, how it works, enabling us to identify the core parts of the intervention, how they achieve the outcomes, how they achieve their effect, and in order to report and record that and provide that information to additional sites. So GerOnTe has used this method, which uses realist research as that opening approach. And in addition to that, we've combined that with the Consolidated Framework for Implementation Research and the NAS framework, which is a domain-based framework. Again, just a systematic way of analysing your organisation in order to identify what parts of the organisation are impacted by the intervention and what you need to change within your organization in order to make this intervention work for you. So in practical terms, it's about identifying the resources, the training, the supports, and the collaborations that need to be developed within your organization in order for you to set up the GerOnTe intervention in a way that provides the healthcare professionals with the structures and the processes and the resources that they need, and that enables the patients to have the information and the supports that they need in order for the integrated care pathway to work as intended. So at this point in time, we're coming towards the end of our project, and the GerOnTe Work Package 5 has produced a co-design method, and we've published that in the PLOS One journal, which I'll put the link to at the end of this video. And this particular co-design method is just a practical approach that identifies two clinicians, some methods, some focus groups, and rapid analysis of that data in order to identify what they need to do within their organization to adapt the intervention to their setting. So some of the key findings that we have so far is that there is a very clear process that can be followed in order to implement complex interventions. We can look at that process from an organizational and from a clinical perspective. And in either case, it's about identifying the key people that need to be involved in order to make decisions happen, and the key processes, the key timelines, the key resources, the key training, and then about appointing a person responsible to initiate that process and then make sure that the relevant actions happen. And then looking at some of the key challenges, they relate mostly to getting collaboration and communication working effectively within your sites, and then in order to provide the clinicians with the correct resources and training for them to be able to set the process up as it happens. So far, we would just like to thank everybody at the clinical sites and all of the general people for their support for the project, and we look forward to updating you on more results as we have them. Thank you very much. Bye.